Alright guys, check it out. This is the first time owning a 1984 Kawasaki Tecate 3 250cc 2-stroke beast. I've wanted one of these for a very, very long time, and finally I was able to get one for a very, very good price. I actually traded my Honda 250X. I think I had like maybe 450 bucks into that thing, and did a straight trade with this. So I got this for the Honda, and I'd say I traded up here. These engines alone are worth around 1,500 bucks, so I think it was a pretty good trade. This engine is actually from my KX 250 from 1984, and fun fact, the 1984 KX 250 engines can swap right in the Tecate. It's the exact same engine, exact same carburetor, and they bolt right up perfectly in here. So this is actually my old engine, and that's kind of why I traded it. I knew the engine was good. So right there, that was 1,500 bucks. I don't know if the guy ran it. I don't think he did for very long because the coolant lines weren't hooked up. You can see it needs a coolant line going up to here to the radiator, and this thing was actually missing a radiator when I did buy it, or when I did trade it. So this thing has not had coolant running through it at all yet. So I'm not really sure if it's going to be holding coolant or if the water pump works, but I know that we did add new rings to the piston, so those should all be perfect. Also added a new kickstart, so it's got pretty good compression for 250. So I don't think we're going to have any problems there. I'm not sure about the spark situation here. I'm not sure if he used the components from the Tecate or the KX 250. Hopefully he used them from the KX 250 because I don't think you can run a CDI box from the Tecate and use it with the KX 250 engine. So we're going to find that out today. Hopefully he swapped it all out from the KX 250 and replaced everything on here. As you can see, this thing needs a ton of work. Probably needs thousands of dollars worth of work. So I mean, it's very, very rough. As you can see, everything's painted this ugly blue color. It's like a navy blue. The front fender is originally supposed to be green, as you can see. So this all needs to be stripped. The boots need to be green, so somebody painted those with blue paint. You can see it all chipping off. Tires have a slow leak in them. You can see they're kind of dry rotted all around. The frame, I believe, is originally black, and they painted it blue. I'm not really sure what they were doing with the frame. Kind of weird that they paint the whole thing blue. I don't know exactly what they were going for, but you can see the VIN right here. Where is it? Somewhere on here. I think that was it. Yeah, right here. So if you look at the 10th letter, it's an E, and that lines up with 1984. And you can see everything on this thing is pretty much rusted out. The chain is super rusty. The brakes are locked up. Those are solid. The clutch works. And then the back brake does not work at all. It's just like there's nothing to it. And the back brake is actually locked up. You can see the brake pads are a little thin on it. Just a tad. So there's not much left to the brake pad. Everything else looks pretty decent on it. I didn't see any cracks in the frame or anything like that. This is an aftermarket shock they made for the Tecate 3s, the pink shock. So those are kind of sought after, actually. And then it does have the original seat on here as well. So we'll kind of take that off. But I mean, obviously it needs to be recovered. These are Tecate 4 plastics that came with my Tecate 4 I have at home. I just put them on there for effect so you guys can see what this thing looked like. Pretty much all complete. But those will come right off. They're not bolted on or anything. So I need to look for some Tecate 3 plastics, rear fenders, which if you guys know anything about these, parts for these things are really, really hard to find, especially plastics. Plastics go anywhere from, you know, 300 bucks for a fender to $1,500 for a set. So they're very expensive, very hard to come by, and I've had this thing for probably 2 weeks now and I can't find any parts for it. So if you guys have any parts or know of anyone that has any parts, please let me know. because I need quite a few parts to complete this thing. I found a couple parts for it. One of the things we were missing was the radiator. These things are extremely hard to find, so hopefully this one will do the trick. I bought it off of eBay from a guy who said he doesn't think it leaks or anything like that, but I paid, I think, what did I pay, 150 bucks for this thing. So it's definitely pricey parts. It did come with two pipes. This pipe right here looks like the original with a broken off piece right here, but it came with this nicer pipe as well. This is all stripped down. It looks like ready to be painted matte black. It does, however, look like it's a little bit longer in the back here. It might need to be trimmed down a bit, but other than that, this is a nice pipe and it does fit. I tried to install it on the machine and it does look like it will bolt up. I also had to buy this. This is a muffler for it, and these are also very, very hard to come by. As you can see, there's a couple dents and it's not in perfect condition, but beggars can't be choosers in this situation. So we got this thing. I think that was either 100 or 150 bucks. Can't remember what it was, but it was like the only one up on eBay, and I just snagged it because I was afraid it was gonna be gone. I'm still looking for the back rear fender plastics because I can't find those anywhere. I think they make new ones for like 500 bucks for the front and the back, but they're kind of like a weird color. They're kind of like a darker green, and I'm going for a lighter green because this is all lighter green. So I'm not really sure what to do there. But yeah, so basically we need new plastics, a seat cover, got to paint up the pipe, get the pipe on there, get the radiator set up, and get a coolant line for that. It's missing the line from right here that goes up to the radiator. The radiator goes right here. We need a bolt that goes to the clutch right here. We need a new chain and sprocket probably. We need an air filter. It's missing the air filter in it. It does have the air box, fortunately, but it is missing the air filter. So I'm not really sure how that bolts up in there, but we'll have to try to figure that out. The main part's here, the engine, which is good, and it should run if it does have spark. Shock in the back is still good. Pretty springy, but shocks in the front still work. They're not locked up or anything. I have not checked the bearings. I'm not really sure how it rolls or anything, but yeah, definitely needs the brake gone through. The brake is completely locked up on here. It spins a little bit, but not much. So that thing needs to be taken apart. Caliper needs to be taken apart, gone through, and probably a rebuild kit on that if we can't get it going. I'm not sure if there's any brake fluid in it. I don't want to break that off of there. Looks like that can easily break, but that's locked up. What else does this thing need? I think that's pretty much it at this point. Obviously the front brake needs to be unlocked as well. It's just completely stuck. So lots of work to do on it. And then we have to strip down the tank and all the plastics back to the green color if it can be stripped down. So let's get working on this project. It's definitely gonna be fun to rip around when it's done because we've got the Tecate and the 250R over here. So we can do a little race when we're done. It'll be a fun race. And I have the Tecate 4, we can race with it when we're done. And it'll be really, really fun to rip around. All right, so last time I checked this engine, it did have spark, but like I said before, I'm not sure if the guy swapped over the electronics or not on this thing, so we will see if it still has spark. Looks like the spark plug was loose on it, so that's interesting. I'm hoping he didn't run it for too long without coolant going to it. Let's see. Do we have spark? Looks like he didn't run it too long. The plug is still pretty white, unless it was running lean. Alright, please let this thing have a spark. That would be horrible if it didn't. You guys take a look. I'll kick her over. Oh yeah. Oh, at first I thought we didn't have it. So we got good spark. Whew, good. That means we don't have to buy the CDI box and the coil for it. That's awesome. Alright, we'll put the plug back in there. Actually, we should probably check compression. See what that's at. Hopefully it's over 100. That's kind of what we're shooting for. Zero that out. Alright, we're gonna do throttle open. It's kind of hard to kick over. Right. I'd say that's pretty good compression. What is it? 150, 60, 70, 175. Not too bad. Doesn't get much better than that. So this thing is going to fly. That's awesome. Alright, next thing I want to do is see if some paint stripper will take this off the tank. We'll start with light stuff like brake cleaner and then go to the heavy stuff. This orange Citri strip stripping gel that you paint on. If that doesn't take it off, I don't know what will, but we'll start around the cap right here and see if the brake cleaner does the trick first. Right, we're going to start with some brake cleaner first, and a rag. Just kind of let it sit on there for a little bit. Now that I'm looking at it, it kind of looks like red was the original color. Oh, that sucks. No wonder it looks like the tank was painted on the inside. It looks like it was painted green. Because the green is flaking off. Oh man, that really sucks. So it's a red tank. Huh. It looked like the original Tecate tank. Very strange. Let's move on and see if we can get the radiator hooked up. So I believe the radiator goes in here like this. Kind of like that. You can see there's a place for a bolt hole right there. Get this tag off of here. So it looks like it bolts up right there. And then where else does it bolt up? Yeah, at the bottom there's two bolt holes down there. Let's see, just for the time being, I'll try to get this thing to fit. Couple 8mm. Let's see if it's down there pretty good. And then we gotta get the clamp on the hose down here. And then I'd like to find another hose for it if I can. Alright, so that hose is hooked up down there. And there's another hose. Where does the other one go to? Oh, right up here. Right here. And that goes down to right here. So yeah, let's look for another hose. I've got a couple hoses in the back there. Let's see if one fits. Alright, just found this coolant line in the back. We're gonna see if we can make it fit on this thing. Let's see. This can be up here. Gotta get a clamp around here. Just trying to get all the clamps done. If this is your first time watching my videos, EAA is going on, so that's the biggest airplane air show in the world. So that's why you hear all the airplanes going on. I live right by EAA, that's why they're so loud. Alright, so we got the hose up there, all hooked up. Comes down to there. Doesn't look like it kinks. Turn it that way. And we've got plenty of stretch. So I think we're gonna leave that like that. That looks pretty good. Then we're gonna get the pipe on next, I think. So let's just mock it up and see if it fits on there. You can see the pipe fits nicely on there like that. But if you look at the tab right here, it doesn't quite fit over there, so I think we're missing like a piece that goes from here to here. Probably a dampener of some sort. But you can see how far back that goes. I think this is supposed to be cut off like right here, so that the muffler can fit on there. But we'll get the springs on here and kind of get the pipe all situated. Alright, got the pipe mocked up here. Looks like that clears the fender, so that's good. And then I got the springs on the pipe. A couple 3-inch springs, so it's pretty tight on there. We're just missing the bolt and the bracket for right here. So once we get that, we can bolt that up. For the time being, that's probably fine because I've got a zip tie around there in the back. But we definitely want to get that before we ride it. Alright, here's the silencer. So the bolt holes are supposed to be right there and right there. So I don't think so we're a little short. So the pipe definitely needs to be cut a bit. I'm thinking like right here. A couple inches off. Let me get the original pipe. See how long that is. This one. Yeah, see, this is the original. Alright, so we got the silencer on and the pipe on. That's as good as I'm going to get it until we can get the correct hardware. Because this thing needs to be sucked in to there. But that's kind of how that looks like. And that needs to be up like that. So like that, and sucked in a little bit. But that'll do the trick for the first start. We're going to now see if it holds some coolant. Hopefully it does and doesn't leak. Alright, let's see if it holds coolant here. Here we go. Ain't leaking yet. No leaking yet. That's a good sign. Tapped off in there. Yeah. All right, let's add some premix to it. Turn it on. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think it is. All right, here we go. First start. She runs. Sounding pretty good actually. I think the muffler's working. That is awesome. I do see a small leak of coolant coming right from there. I think it's coming from right up here at that connection. You can see the moisture coming down right there. So we gotta fix that, but she runs. That is awesome. All right, let's open the garage door and start her up again. She's idling. Well, I'd say that's a big success. Coolant lines are getting hot, so I know the pump is working. Otherwise it wouldn't be able to circulate throughout the system if the pump wasn't working. So coolant is being circulated, the radiator is nice and hot. So that's definitely working. We gotta just fix that one leak. It's right there. I think it's just a clamp that's not clamped down very tight. Hopefully. Otherwise it's the actual radiator, which would kind of suck, but and then I noticed that there's a leak right here at the exhaust, so I think it's just missing the exhaust gasket in between there. So we can order one of those up as well. I didn't even check for oil in here, so hopefully there's oil. I know I replaced the oil when I did the rebuild. Oh yeah, there's oil in it. There's a peak hole right there. Right there. I think there's half of it. But yeah, sounding pretty good. Not too bad. Once we get that exhaust leak figured out and then the pipe actually on here, it'll be a lot better. But so far so good. Let's work on the back brake now. See if we can bleed that and get that free. Oh, it's got brake fluid in it. You can see that. Alright. Obviously it's not pumping though. So let's see what happens when we break that right there. Oh boy. That's going to snap. See if it pumps out of there. So there's a piston in here that goes up and down. I bet that piston's stuck in the up position. Alright, we got this master cylinder off right here. And see, that's just floating there. Nothing happens when you push it up. So that piston is stuck up in there. We took the little clip out right here that was in there to hold that on. Now we just have to pop that out and that whole thing should come off. Just a little rusty in there from sitting for so long. This one might be a tough one to get back in working order. Might have to order up a new one, but we'll see if we can get it. Alright, so what I did was took some WD-40, sprayed it down this hole. This piece went in there like that. And then I took a screwdriver, shoved it up here, and pounded like that. And that piston finally came loose, and now it's springy in there again, so it's retracting. And you can hear it pumping. So that piston's freed up, so that can be put back together. Alright, brakes are now working. We just need new pads because it's not grabbing as much as it should with the brakes because the pads are really worn. So we'll get new pads and that'll work great. So now this spins a lot freer, rolls a lot better. So it's not locked up anymore. Front brake is still locked up, so might work on that next. Try to get that free. I suspect that the cable is locked up here. Not 100% sure though. Could be the brake as well. There we go. Definitely not the brake, it's the cable. So you can see the lever moves in and out. The cable does not, so we're gonna back this guy off. See if we can lube her up. Go up at the top. Now we gotta get this undone. Alright, unfortunately the cable is really locked up, so that's past the point of no return. I tried getting it loose, but it's just solid. So, yep, we're gonna have to order up a new cable. I'm gonna see if we can get the blue paint off. Strip. Paint that on. Alright, then we'll wait about 30 minutes, come back and see what that looks like. Alright, I waited about 20 minutes, getting impatient here. Look at that, there's a green underneath, the darker green. So this fender was painted a couple different times, you can see. See the blue paint's coming off, and then there's dark green underneath, look at that. That is something. Alright, we'll work at that and come back when it's no longer blue. Alright, fender's turning green slowly but surely. It's going to need a lot more work. I'm going to take off the fender and let it sit overnight with some stripper on it. And then we'll do the fork boots as well. Try to get those back to original. The tank, unfortunately, is going to be kept red, I suppose, because for some reason it must have been like an aftermarket tank for it. I've seen a couple on eBay that were red, so maybe it was a thing back then to have a red tank and green plastics. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with the frame. I don't really know if I should tear this thing down to the frame and repaint it black. Let me know in the comments what you guys think I should do. You know, if it runs really good, I might restore it and turn it all back to original and actually put some money into it. Right now I probably have around $700 into it, so I know they're worth quite a bit more than that, all restored, but I don't know if I want to do that or just ride it the way it is. But yeah, next video, hopefully we'll have the rest of it done so we can take it for a ride. Stay tuned for that, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Until next time, we are out.